What's going on, everybody? Sorry, I was having some issues with Restream, so sorry for the couple-minute delay. Hope everyone's doing well. Steve, what's going on, brother? Good to see you. Kyle, what's up, man? Nope, this is it. Good evening, Michael. Good to see you. Yes, Restream, the platform that we use to do this, decided they wanted me to upgrade again. They wouldn't let me go live until I did. So that is that. All right, we'll give it a few minutes. Let everybody get here. None of my devices are working. So goes it. It is the end of the year. But hope everybody's doing well. Hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. Got a few things to go over, and then we'll keep these going. We'll do another one next week. We'll talk about this a little bit more. We'll do another AMA next week. I'll record a video over the weekend as well to kind of recap what we went over tonight. And then we will obviously take the Christmas week off. Let me pull up my calendar real quick. Yep, so we'll do an AMA next Thursday, the 22nd. We'll take the 29th off, and then we'll be back on the 5th. Thanks, Keith. I am feeling better. The whole house got hit with the bad flu or virus or whatever is going around right now. All right, everybody. Well, let's give it one more minute while people are joining. I think hopefully a couple people didn't jump off because we're a little bit late. But again, Restream wanted me to upgrade, or they wouldn't let me go live. So here we are. Side note, real quick, if you are not in the Slack channel, please ping me. We have like 17 or 18 people in there, but if you have not yet, hi Henry, good to see you. If you have not yet gotten into the Slack channel, just go ahead and shoot me a Slack or a text message, and I'll get you in there. All right, everybody, let's get started because I want to save a little bit of time at the end to discuss some question and answers. And then we had the first snow here in Iowa, the first real snow. And so my wife and my two kids and I are going to go run in the backyard in swimsuits after this for the first snow. So awesome, Eric. Right on, man. Yeah, so we're going to go run in swimsuits in the snow. So, oh, Kyle, that's actually on the agenda. So, all right, let me go ahead and share my screen. And Kyle's already getting ahead of what I got to talk about. Okay, so been working on a little bit of our slide decks because this is going to go into WeFunder, and then we're launching WeFunder. But as you can see, this is going to be a little teaser of the version 2 of the app, which I have some awesome news on that. And we'll kind of dive a little bit into it tonight. And then I want to do a full just video recording discussing this as well, and not necessarily live, just so I can get through some topics. But let's dive in. All right. All right, so tonight we're going to discuss the roadmap for 2022. It's kind of crazy. I have 2022 there. That's actually 2023. So no, we're not going to discuss the roadmap from last year, last quarter, but 2023. The version 2 of the app with the release of the long-awaited Android app. So we're going to dive into that a little bit tonight. Kyle, here's the second part of the agenda. Is holiday swag bags will start to ship out. trying to handwrite every note, so it's taking a little bit of time, but I wanted to make sure I hand wrote something to everybody, all the OGs, and then when we're all rich, we can go celebrate on an island together. We'll discuss briefly WeFunder, and then the Q&A, a little Q&A at the end. I will make a video this weekend, kind of deep diving into every one of these, but we'll touch on a high level on this tonight. First, the new website is hopefully, knock on wood, going live this weekend. This is not the final. What you guys see on the screen is not the final version. Obviously, the picture here is just a placeholder on the right where it says cards or whatnot. But our new site is going live this weekend, and it will have 5 categories based on the holistic approach to what People Finance will be next year. And so of that, I'll just briefly touch on it. The 5 core products or core offerings is spend. So that would be checking accounts and debit cards. Save, which will be normal FDIC savings accounts and high yield savings accounts. And we'll dive a little bit more into that when the website is released over the weekend. Invest, that will be stock trading, bonds, ETF. Debt, we're also going to call that lend. And so there's 2 facets under the lend program. There's one facet where we want to help people that have really big collection accounts and owe creditors, help them refinance out of that at 0% and then get them on the right path to financial freedom. And then there's the lending portion of the student loans, low APR credit cards, and such that we've talked about. And then finally, the 5th column for us is own. And so this is an opportunity, obviously, for everybody that comes into our company to own a portion of People Finance as well. So that will launch over the weekend, and then we'll discuss it. Ed, what's going on, man? We'll discuss the things that need to be updated and changed in our Slack channel. So if you're not in the Slack channel, please go ahead and shoot me a message and I'll get you in. But there's about 17, 18 people in there right now. Okay, so I want to touch high level on our product kind of mock-ups and what's coming. So in January, we should be launching, and we're going to really try hard to haven't seen the Slack invite yet. Thanks, Kevin. Kevin, no need to text me. I wrote your name down and I got you in. What is the Slack channel? Kyle, you'll get an invite for Slack. It's where we're kind of having like the OGs, and that's where we're going to develop the advisory board as well. And so we have some people in the Slack channel right now. And Slack it's a productivity tool, essentially. If you don't know what it is, it's a chat tool. But if you want to get in there, then I'll shoot you an invite, Kyle. Okay, so in January, so I'm working with a company called Solid, which is a banking as a service provider, and we'll talk about the credit union here in a minute as well. Yeah, Ed, please install it, and then I'll add you. So Solid is going to try really hard to get us high yield savings accounts and credit cards in January. And not only that, I was talking to Sina today. Sina's our head of product and engineering. So we're not only going to try to roll out savings and credit cards in January, by the end of January, but the version 2 of the app is going to come out as well. And in that version 2 is Android. And so within this integration, we will have trading and we'll have high yield savings and a credit card. And then shortly following, it will take about 6 weeks for every new product to come out. And so shortly following that will be checking accounts and then debit cards. In the back end, the credit union play is going to be a slow burn. But yeah, Eric, I know you'd be happy about that. The credit union play is going to be a slow burn just because that industry moves a lot slower than traditional finance and traditional banking. But what we can do when we're able to launch our own credit union, we'll be able to switch everybody from the sponsoring bank right now. We'll be able to switch everybody to the credit union. So I just don't want to delay getting banking products out the door, because we can start to do some serious good on the lending side and the high yield savings account. And then when the credit union is ready, we'll just switch everybody's account to the credit union, and it'll be a seamless transition. And so within the version 2 launch, some of these mockups will change slightly, but it's going to be, if you read from left to right, there's going to be a main portfolio page to where we can track and manage all of our products from one screen. And so that'd be checking, investing, and savings. Obviously, as we add more lending products like student loans and car loans and so forth, that will also be added into the main screen as well. Moving to the right, at least my right, it might be different for you guys. There'll be a trading platform. It's not going to be a crazy trading platform. No need for day trading within this type of app. That's what we'll have the web app for. But this will be similar to a Webull or a Robinhood in the sense of you can still make trades, execute trades right from your checking account. So there's not going to be a need to switch between multiple apps. And then the card balance will be, if you move to the right again, card balance for the credit cards, for the savings accounts and whatnot, and then loan products as well. So Android is coming, version 2, hopefully by the end of January, and that will include high yield savings. With the high yield savings, and this is going to go into the credit card product for a moment, what I'm thinking, and I do want to get some feedback on this. So let me put in your guys' ear right now, and then let's have a conversation about this via Slack, and then maybe we can do a Zoom call with the people in Slack to get some opinion here as well. But one thing that I want to do with the high yield savings account is incentivize people to use the savings account like a CD. So you all know how traditionally CDs you would lock up anywhere from 6 months to 3 years or 5 years. And then there's different APYs associated with that. So the high yield savings is going to start probably 5 to 6% APY and then lock it up like a CD. However, I want to launch the credit card to back into the high yield savings. So for example, let's say I put in $5,000 into the high yield savings account, lock it up for 2 years. Well, now I have a 0% APR credit card with a credit balance or credit limit of, let's say, $3,000. So I can access some of that money without being penalized by breaking the lock or whatnot. So I'm thinking about different ways to where we can incentivize people to go into high yield savings while providing liquidity through a 0% APR credit card. And that product we can launch in January. That's what Solid told me today. And so I think that'd be really interesting, especially alongside the trading ecosystem as well. But anyways, yeah, wanted to throw that in there. 41 inches of 11. Oh man, Rob, I forgot you're in Alaska. That's right. So anyways, wanted to throw that guys in your ear, guys. I think it'd be a cool product. It will definitely make us unique. And it doesn't penalize people for opening up a savings account. And so that was one of the things, thinking about our target audience and even myself, it's like, do I have, $10,000 that I can lock away today and not need liquidity, right? Well, I mean, in this market, all liquidity would be great. So anyways, thinking through that, give it some thought, and then we will bring it. What are the statistics of CD use in the States? I mean, a lot of people use CDs because they're higher yield. But Eric, it wouldn't be like a traditional CD. So we're not going to call it a certificate of deposit, right? It would be a way for us to know, like, not have balance risk, right? So that we could create the yield. Obviously the yield would be backed, like it's not gonna be in the stock market or crypto or anything. Probably real estate is the safest type of yield for a product like this. Um, but by giving a credit card at 0% APR, it essentially goes around the lockup because you can still access it. And then obviously 0% APR, we can pay off our balance quick because there's no interest associated with it. So anyways, just thinking through the idea, there's hundreds of millions of CDs in the United States. So there's a big product for it. But think about it as a high yield savings with a locking period. And based on what yield that savings account is going to provide, is based on the lock period. So if you didn't want to lock it, maybe it produces 3% APY. But if you wanted to lock it for a year, maybe it produces 6%. So that's the thinking behind it. That's pretty quick. Yeah. So I have been working with Solid for about a month to just getting the ball rolling. And then because they already have the banking relationship, we just essentially go on their ledger and then boom, we're ready to go. And then we can launch products pretty quickly. So we're just going through like KYB and stuff right now, which is the slower process. And then once everything's established, then it's as fast as we can engineer it, essentially. No limit, Eric. Yeah, so maybe $10, but no real limit. So yeah, and that's the great thing about us directing our own products is we're not going to have limits on checking accounts, savings accounts, high yield savings. Yeah, absolutely no limits. Now, for issuing a credit card against the savings account, maybe $1,000 because we would give a $500 or $400 credit limit on the credit card. That would be more economical for all of us. So that's what I'm still playing through the numbers, but probably something around that. Do we need to have capital to move this quickly? We don't need like hundreds and hundreds of thousands. We need about $30,000 more to get the entire platform built. That in the way that I envision it. It's 40,000. We about have that already pledged in WeFunder. So it's just about getting WeFunder up and going. I have a goal of raising $500,000 on WeFunder this time around, and about 40,000 is going to getting the product where we need it to go: checking accounts, savings accounts, credit cards, debit cards, trading, and then about $350,000 into marketing. And our customer acquisition cost will be about $10. And so we'll heavily accelerate our revenue based on that. And so over the next week, when we actually launch WeFunder, in our Slack, I'm going to start putting together a go-to-market strategy that we can all pitch in a little bit on like social media and then getting the word out, magnifying our reach. So I've been putting that together in my notebook, but we will talk about it in Slack as well. Read that again. Do we have the cat? Kyle must be misunderstanding what you're asking here. Then, do we have the capital to move? Yes, but we need about $30,000 more or so to get it to where we need it to be. So we have the capital to get it started. We can launch it bootstrapped, but to make it perfect, we need about 30,000 additional to get it going. I think I'm understanding what you're saying here. If I'm not, maybe we can talk about it in Slack or something like that. But yes, in essence, yes. Rob, I got you. I'll send it over. Oh, sweet. Okay, cool. Yeah, and Kyle, that's what I meant is we have the money has been pledged in WeFunder, so we don't need anything above that. We just have to get the round closed, essentially. Rob, I think you're already in Slack. Let me double check. Nope, you're not. I'll get you added. Cool. Okay, so yeah, so in January, the hopes is, and this will be towards the end of January, just because we'll only have about 25 working days in January from the holidays. But the hopes is to have an iOS app, an Android app that has trading, a high yield savings account with a credit card attached to it. And then 4 to 6 weeks after that will be a traditional checking account with a debit card associated to that. And then we'll start rolling out loan products. So loan products, let's think towards the middle of Q2. Car loans, student loans, HELOCs, working with some people on that type of stuff on our roadmap. So think about that holistically. Q1, high yield savings, checkings, debit, credit, trading, and then loan products in Q2 with an Android app. So I know half of you will be very excited about that. Okay, so we have WeFunder. I need to send an annual report tomorrow on WeFunder, and that will be tomorrow, and then that's essentially the last step in order to launch WeFunder. And then swag is starting to go out over the weekend. Again, I'm handwriting quite a bit of letters and notes, and so hopefully you get a handwritten note from me with some swag by Christmas. But trying to get those out the door as quickly as possible. That's about it from the high level overview and what we're trying to get done in January. Are there any questions in regards to this plan, or any other types of questions? And the credit union's a little bit of a slow burn. We are still working. I'm still working on that, but it's going to probably take a little bit longer. Like I said, we're going to switch over the deposit accounts once that goes into effect. But that's going to be a little bit of slower burn. But I want to get product out. So also, I think March or April, we're going to be able to do what's called a share drop. And so everybody that got free shares or was pledged free shares, we're going to be able to do that legally through the SEC. And that will be through that'll be through Republic. So that'll probably come in Q2, but that's going to be a way in the own tab, as you guys see. I don't know if you can see it on your screen, but up in the top, the fifth pillar is own. That's going to be a way that people coming in are going to be able to acquire some free shares as well. Kyle, you do a great job participating, brother, for sure. Cool, guys. That's what I got. Are there any questions? Again, I'm going to do a recap video over the weekend to discuss this, just more bullet pointed for everybody that couldn't get out here tonight. But are there any questions before I go run in the snow with my 8 and 6-year-old? All right. I don't see any coming in. So what I'll do tomorrow morning is send Slack invites to everybody that is not in there yet. Michael, call me anytime as well. Anybody can call me. Actually, this is something interesting for you guys. If you're in Slack, you can actually call me. So let's make sure we get you guys in Slack. And I am always on Slack because that's how I manage the team. So you guys can always call me if you want to chat if I'm online. So cool. Have a great night, everybody. It's really nice to see everybody. Sorry I was sick last week. I was really not feeling well. So, but glad that we're back on track. And I will see you all next week. And download Slack. I'll get the invites out tomorrow morning. Have a great night, everybody. We'll talk later.